So she might make treats. And they love to be scritched here. You have to scritch them really hard, and then you start to see their lips quiver and their nose quiver.
Oh.
And that means they're
Enjoying it.
Blood. Hi, I'm Robin Bisha, and I have a farm called Cheshire's Legacy, which I call a trust farm. It's named after the first cat that I trained and helped him navigate human society with training. And right now, our focus in training, we have cats here, and then we have donkeys. And so today I want to talk to you about my donkeys. This is Lara. She is the baby of the herd. She is 2.5, and she was rescued right out of a field when she was a weanling. We thought she was going to be bigger, but she's about the same size as Sasha, which is they're about 39 inches. And this is Sasha. He was my first donkey rescued donkey who came to live with me. He came from being picked up by animal control as a stray in Bastrop County, and they transferred him into a rescue. He does not want to hear about his previous life, do you, buddy? He is really good with, and he recognizes anyone who has experienced some kind of trauma, and he treats them differently than he does
treat
others.
them?
He's kinder, and he'll hug.
Oh,
A donkey will hug by kind of putting his head and neck around a person. He's very gentle with people. He understands, I guess. I don't know how, but I'm learning about that, how he knows that others have been traumatized, because I suspect he has his own experience.
Yeah.
And so Lara really has known no unkindness at all in her life. She just wasn't fed well when she was a baby. And Martha is a miniature donkey. She's 36 inches tall. Lara and Sasha are just barely not miniature. They're small standard donkeys. She's also a spotted donkey. And so Martha's pretty cerebral. She likes to train. She likes to think. She's going to bite your thigh. Are you okay? I'm sorry. Martha!
I didn't expect that. Why does she bite?
She wants something from you. It's something that they would do with their foals to teach their foals what to do.
Oh, okay.
And when they do a little bit of biting on their legs. When they want to play with each other, they bite each other a lot. They're very, very aggressive in their play style. The donkeys came to live with me when I came to the country because I wanted a better home for my cats. I've been involved in rescue and seeing for a bit more than a decade, and mostly working with cats and some with dogs. And when I moved to the country, I wanted to have an animal to partner with to help take care of the outside of our property. And I learned about donkeys and learned how responsible donkeys are. This is Sasha. He's my first donkey who came to live here in overseeing our herd and making sure everything stays safe and happy. He came with a lot of health problems. We worked through dealing with difficult gelding surgery, so that he had to have his gelding surgery before he came. And then he had laminitis. And laminitis is an inflammation of the hooves that they're prone to. And so we need to care for them in a way that helps to minimize them getting these things like laminitis. And they look kind of like small horses, and yet they have specificities as well. And so what I would like, rather than to end up taking in a lot of donkeys, I want to help educate people so that the donkeys can stay in their homes and be healthy and not need to be rescued. Through training and proper feeding and helping the donkeys be ready for health care and hoof care. So first of all, a lot of people think that donkeys don't need to be seen by a hoof trimmer. And this might be true if they are wild and they're walking on a really rocky surface, but they do need a hoof trimmer. They don't need shoes, but they need hoof care. Part of the training that really helps a donkey stay healthy and happy in a human environment is to learn how to behave well with the farrier. And a lot of people think that donkeys are stubborn and that you can't train them, and some of that is because donkeys are not going to put up with being pushed around in their training. They are very responsive to positive reinforcement, so of showing them what you want them to do and reinforcing them for doing that with some kind of low sugary treats or scratches or anything your donkey likes. And they need to learn to pick up their feet, and they also need to learn how to stand nicely for a veterinarian, because they have to have a blood test every year just like horses, and they also need vaccinations. Their skin is really thick, so sometimes it's hard to give them an injection or to do a blood draw. So if we can train them, it's easier for them to accept injections. So we're working on that, and so I have learned a lot of training games to do with donkeys to help them to feel safer with the vet. So training is really important. The other thing where donkeys might differ a little from horses that makes a difference in their day-to-day care is what they eat. Donkeys' digestive systems are super efficient. Their ancestors came from the desert, and the desert doesn't have really good plants. So donkeys can squeeze the nutrition out of just about anything. They need a food that doesn't have as much protein in it as horses. So in general, donkey specialists recommend not giving them alfalfa and not giving them any grain. And the grain is partly because of the sugars that affects how chubby they are, and also for their feed. The coastal hay is what I feed them in parts of the country or the world where they have barley growing. The donkey sanctuary, which is like the people who have advice for everything that you need to know about your donkey. They have a website. They recommend feeding them barley straw. And all I can get here is wheat straw, and it's a kind of odd product that I get at Tractor Supply, and they're not very fond of it. But if you find a good straw that they like, they can eat that 24/7. Otherwise, I feed them coastal hay is about the right level of protein that we have easily available here, and I limit the amount of time that they have grass. Grass is a very, very sugary plant, and its sugar levels change throughout the year. Thanks, Sash. But so I limit their grass so that we can avoid having issues that come from overweight and hoof disease. If you're wondering if your donkey is fat, they'll start to show it in their neck. So this is a fat donkey neck, and a really obese donkey, the neck will get really big and it sometimes will fall over. So you can tell without even looking at their belly or anything if they are overweight. So a good donkey neck, this is Martha, and her neck is pretty good. She's been chowing a little, but she's not fat. She's the closest of my donkeys to a perfect weight. but they all get their hoof care and we have a lot of fun.
So they're super strong, I've noticed.
Yes, they are. Our donkeys here in the US their biggest problem is obesity and overeating and the hoof problems that come with it. But in the rest of the world, donkeys are doing so much work. The donkey is often the way that a family can make enough money to exist in Africa, some parts of Latin America, some parts of Asia. And
they're the muscle.
So yeah, they're just doing a lot of stuff. So they don't always get very good care either. And the Donkey Sanctuary and this organization, this is their Donkey Project logo from the Brooks Project. So they're working to get them good care so that the donkeys can keep working for their people and help them to survive. But in China, there's one kind of traditional medicine that's made from donkey skins. Yeah. So donkeys are being purchased for slaughter in China to make this thing of dubious value to anyone. And so that's their biggest threat worldwide, is to keep them out of the trade to become skins. Yeah, you don't want to know about that. So our donkeys, their main issues are staying safe from the trade for hides and getting good enough care to keep working.